right. Is it just you on the call? Nobody else? Just us two?
Just me.
Perfect.
Just me.
Well, look.
So you've got the decision maker on the phone. So
This is
let's see how it looks.
All right then. So real quick, I know you don't know that much about Use. I'm gonna give you a little bit about what we do. Then we're gonna
Sure.
go on to the product demonstration, and then we're gonna talk about next steps. Um, so that's really what you care about. So let's go ahead and get this thing kicked off. All right.
Beauty. Yep.
So Use was born in the cloud in 2010. It came from our parent company, Idasoft. We have 30 plus years in data extraction, workflow optimization, as well as data analytics experience. And they took that into the cloud so they can reach this small to mid-sized business market while also supporting their enterprise clients. We currently have over 120 employees working at Use with 3,500 clients globally, and we have we did integration with over 300 ERPs. We put a quarter of our revenue back into our research and development alongside our customer feedback. So that way we can keep our tools progressive as possible while keeping it user friendly. So we're not the only ones that recognize this growth. We've been winning awards since 2018, Scott, all the way through
Yes.
2019. And we just won that FinTech Breakthrough Award in 2020. Um,
Hmm.
it's pretty cool. Yeah, we're the most award winning AP automation company out there right now. Between you and me, I just think we put in more awards than anybody else. But I didn't say that. So let's talk about some of our clients, right? We have all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
different shapes and sizes and verticals. It doesn't really matter. All these clients are going to share one thing, and that is they must deal with AP just like you. So we have small companies like a Terrapin Beer that I mentioned to you the other day. They're in Athens, Georgia. They do about 100 invoices a month, all the way up to the three out of the four EY, PwC, KPMG. I know you mentioned your wife works at PwC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if she's
Oh, you guys do three of the big four. That's crazy. Okay.
yeah,
Wow.
and they're doing about 40 to 50,000 invoices a month
That's
with us. So yeah, it's pretty huge.
wow.
So yeah, so the pain points of manual automation. Why do people go to AP automation? Well, the manual processes inevitably cost you time and money. You mentioned the
Mm-hmm.
other day it's a pain in the ass, and I agree with you. Right?
Mm-hmm.
A little study that our partner put together, Arden Partners, stated that the average cost of invoices right now is over $15. So the average day to pay is getting really risky. If you're running a net 30 at 28 and a half days. That
Hmm.
risk can be from time spent on supplier calls, trying to figure out where the invoices are within your organization, or chasing down approvals, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
this could lead to frequency of late payments, mistaken or duplicate payments because you don't have everything in a centralized place. Um, it's overall due to a lack of visibility. So I know you mentioned, man, you had some pain points with the manual processes. Was there anything else that you had came up that you were struggling with that you didn't get to mention to me the other day?
Um, yeah, I mean, background on us. I outsource the accounting function to an accounting firm, and we're bringing it in house. And so I've never been a bookkeeper before, so I wanted to get an understanding of how much work kind of each month was.
Okay.
And
So you
this
put
was part of the this is part of the process that I just thought there's got to be a better way to do this, because it just takes a lot of time, and I'm not a big company, so I can't imagine as we scale up on invoices that I can't have somebody sitting literally just typing invoices all day. It's just a total waste of time.
Oh yeah, waste of time, waste of money. It's
And like, risk of duplication, the routing, you got to make sure the routing's done well, you know, making sure the right approvals are there. I mean, it's a pain. And, you know, we hit these metrics on everything. Like, we're frequently late on payments because, the invoice wasn't submitted, or they sent it to the wrong place, or the person hasn't approved it. Like, just stuff that we can do better. So,
well, I'm glad that part of the business as
So you guys also do T&E reports as well?
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
Oh, interesting. That's
Um,
great. Okay.
so that's perfect. I'm gonna focus on that as well. So that way, when I'm showing you the demonstration, I can really show you the X's and O's, what use can do for
Mm-hmm.
you guys when you start doing it. Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
with automation, you're going to save up to about 80% on your time and cost, which I know that's really important to you. Now I know that's a direct ROI, and that's money cycling back into the company that can be spent elsewhere. Maybe even raises for your team. You know, something to think about there.
Probably not.
I got you. So why do people choose Yooz, right? Now some of
Mm-hmm.
our competition out there, they can maybe hit on like one or two or maybe even three of these tenants. We stand on, but none of them are doing it like all four like we do. The
Sure.
first one we're going to focus on is that smart technology. Like I said, we have over 30 plus years on a proprietary system that is completely software based, and we own it. So we're not outsourcing any of your data or your invoice information to a third party process. It's being done within the software itself. And know
Mm-hmm.
this, as I mentioned yesterday, our process takes 20 to 30 seconds per page, which is a huge difference between us and our competition out there. That can take 2 to 3 hours processing through like a template based software. Or if they're outsourcing invoices to some cheap labor, it can take 2 to 3 days before you get your invoices back, right? Now I
Mm-hmm.
know you said you are outsourcing your invoices right now to an accounting firm. How long is that taking them to get back to you once you send that initial invoice?
Well, they're doing no, they're doing all controllership right now.
Oh, okay, okay.
So
So they handle it
yeah,
from income
so
to
they're
out.
doing like I don't know exactly how much time they do from entering invoices. I just know what they take to manage the accounting function.
Gotcha, gotcha. Well, look, when it comes to month end and you're trying to rush those invoices through, you can manually code them into your ERP, which you says is a pain in the ass. But our
Yeah.
technology can do it within 20 to 30 seconds, right? You don't have to do it. Use can do it for you. So the bells and whistles, you get full access to Use right out the gate. As you grow as a company, it's going to be scalable. That includes many, excuse me, that includes many features that I'll show you in the demo. Now, from an automation, being in the cloud is great for you. It releases you from the restraints of a manual system and the ease of use, right? Our user interface is very simple and intuitive, even though it's so powerful. I'm gonna show you that during the demonstration today. So Scott, if you're ever on like the beach and you're just trying to have like, invoice withdrawal and you just want to jump online for a few approvals, you can using your smartphone, you can do that right from the beach sipping pina coladas, man. I know that's what you think about when you're on
Yeah.
vacations, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, but that's the beauty of having it automated, man, and being able to work from anywhere. So, our bundle solutions, I won't read through all these because it'd be redundant, but as you can see here for the software, can help you from scanning and capturing of your invoices all the way through the payment automation if that's
Hmm.
something you're looking to do later down the road. Now, I know
Interesting.
you mentioned you wanted to, kind of alleviate the manual processes first. So let's focus on that. And if you're still interested in doing the payments, we can make that like a phase two part of the project and we can have a
Yeah, that's
discussion
good.
then. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool, cool. So what does use do? That picture right there is kind of like the quick snapshot of how we take care of your AP department, right? Get it automated. We sit on the front end of your ERP, which is NetSuite, and we have a process in place. That AP process can kick off in multiple ways. First, you can generate a purchase order that moves through a configurable workflow once that invoice has been received, right? That invoice is captured by either email, scan, smartphone, individually, or by bulk. So once that capture comes in, now that's when Use goes to work for you 24/7. It's going to read and extract every bit of that text data off of that invoice image. It's going to put it
Mm.
into a data set, and using the AI and machine learning, it's going to extract those header fields that are typically typed in. Like I mentioned before, those vendor
Sure.
codes, right? Those invoice numbers, the invoice dates, the cost, the tax, etc. Then it's gonna put that. sorry, it's gonna put that in a purchase order number. If there's a purchase number on there, it's going to do a purchase order scrub from like the vendor code it pulled from,
Mhm.
and then if there's a match, it'll do what we call a GL flip based on those received goods. to make sure everything matches up correctly. A correct match, it can go through a no-touch process. You can see that at the top there. It can be sent straight through your ERP.
Mhm.
So use can
So just so like so this is with a PO, right? So I create a PO, it has the account, the cost center associated with it, and a PO number. You do a search on the vendor PO number, you grab the amount, the process billing, you take the GL account coding from the PO,
hmm
put it through in terms of your output, right? Okay. So then now do you have what happens if this is a non-PO a no PO invoice? So for like a consultant, does it get flagged on like on a phone saying you need to code this? Like you route it to somebody, they need to code it and approve it, then it comes back. Like how does that work?
I was just about to get to that, right? I was
Okay,
just about
great.
to say, let's talk about invoices outside of POs. There's
Yeah,
like no more memorizing GL codes, right? Or trying to remember where that vendor needs to be coded to. Because of our use
sure.
system is going to memorize those GL coding habits per vendor, per location, right? So it also aids you in that perspective as well.
Okay.
So it doesn't need to have PO. But if you did have POs, we do that PO scrub. It matches everything. If you don't have POs, we're going to match what that vendor is, and then we're going to match the habits that you start using on those GL coded lines. So we'll be remembering, starts memorizing stuff for you. It's a very smart tool, man. So so once that happens, right now we'll after those workflows and approval routes, it's going to automatically sync into your ERP, so that way it posts that invoice into the ERP. Did you have any other questions before I show you what you're going to be using it
No, that's it. I mean, I can't remember what I mean, when I was at a bigger company, we used, oh, I can't remember. I can't remember what I used, but it's something like this where everything was automatic and I just had to log on to a site. I could approve the same type of deal, approve from my phone, that type of stuff. Okay.
in. You missed that. I see that now. I can tell that it's something you definitely wanting to have for your company now.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like I used to have a huge team that did all this, so I didn't even really think about it.
hmm
Now I got to think about it. So,
I understand. So let's talk about some of
um,
the
yeah.
efficiencies within the use system, right? That can be created. Here's a 20 store group that does about 15,000 invoices on a monthly basis, and as you see there, users D and
Hey,
E.
Jeremy,
Yeah, go ahead.
Jer- Jer- Jeremy, sold me on the efficiency, bud. Let's see how it works.
All right,
Let's
bet.
get to
Let's
it.
go ahead and get to the demo, man.
If it, you don't need to convince me on the efficiency. It's just do this. I'm on board. So let's keep going.
All right, I got you. So look, we're gonna go ahead, get off that presentation. You got the background there. Let's go ahead
Yeah,
and go into use itself, right? So this is the home
yeah.
screen for use right here, right? I'm gonna be logging in as Mario. He's got some administrative rights, so I can show you the front end and the back end of the system here. So I'm about to log in real quick. Got to close this window. It's just gonna be a little bit of delay. I'll load you guys back up. There we go. Just did a quick refresh on this demo here. Sweet. All right. So to the left here, we have the the filing cabinet is what we call it, right? You can put in the invoice however you want. You can store it however you want. So there's no more putting it into a filing cabinet, wasting space into your office there. And if you have multiple entities or multiple locations, we can have those locations set up as well, having the same types of filing cabinet environments, right? And in the
Okay.
middle here, this is work that needs to be completed, right? And over here is work that's in progress. So some of these have already went through a uh, straight workflow process, which I'm gonna show you
hmm
what that looks like in just a second. So up here, right, for the sake of the demo, I'm gonna use demo so I can show you
Okay.
what got captured.
Sure.
All right, so we're gonna go into import, right? We're gonna
Hmm.
go into the batch of invoices that were stamped. Now, let me know if you can see this here. I want to show you real quick. So Granger invoice comes in. See that stamp right there in the middle? That's that
Hmm.
new stamp that's going to be used as that page separator, right? Now you can use it. You don't have to. You just wanted to put in like a couple pages of invoice. You can do it manually. Just be like, okay, each page of the invoice is like either one page or two pages. But this is going to be that page separator. It's about 16 pages, right? So I'm gonna
So I
go
see.
ahead.
So what you're saying is if I get a paper invoice and I'm scanning a bunch of them, I stamp which page?
The first page of that invoice.
The first page, and then okay, got it.
Hmm.
And then that indicates that the document was 3 pages long.
Exactly. When that next scan comes up, it recognizes that this is a new invoices until it reaches the next stamp that you put on the other invoice when you're doing a batch upload.
Got it. Okay.
All
Well,
right. So now we're going to put that's document types payable invoice, right? We got the company that we're putting it under. That batch uploads right here. I'm going to go ahead and click add. So yes, we want to import all these. All right. And now the next button is to the bottom right there. We have import that batch owner. So now, like I said, it's 20 to 30 seconds for each page that user is going to go ahead and start doing that. Oh, it hasn't finished yet. User's going to start doing that data extracted for those pages. Now, while it's
mhm.
doing that, we're going to go ahead and go into the back of the system here so I can show you what that looks like, right? So for organization, like I said, you can have multiple entities here. And this is where you can set up that auto forwarding rule from like if you have a AP at Variety. Um, that's where you're going to send the invoices to, and then we're going to have it forward over into Yooz, so that way those workflows and that data extraction can start happening from there.
So if I so hold on, so if there's an AP with an attached invoice,
Mhm.
you're saying I can forward this directly and it would automatically get loaded in here?
So yeah, if you have that email set up, or if you want to create one, you can, and
Yeah.
we'll set up the auto forwarding rule for it to automatically go in there. So if you have a dedicated AP email address, you just want to create one, or if you have a user that has that all the
Sure.
invoices go to, we can set up that auto forwarding rule and have it go straight into the use system. So that way, it doesn't even
Basically, it
have to get
says
scanned.
if it goes through any email that has an attachment and goes and grabs the attachment.
Exactly.
Interesting.
All right.
That's,
So that's the organization part. Now let's get into the process, right? This
yeah.
is where the workflows are created. Um, so here we're gonna have excuse me. So here we have the import phase, the entry phase is what I like to call the review phase. This is where we're gonna set up those rules for those workflows. Like if anything under $500 and it's fully used, meaning that the all the data has been extracted, users filled in all those information I told you about, like the invoice date, we've got the taxes, we got the dollar amount of the products on that invoice. It's gonna skip going through approvals, right? And it's gonna go
Mhm.
straight over into the ERP because you know that's something that you're gonna be billing for anyway. Like I like to say, this is stuff like your lights, your electric, the water, stuff like that. You can just push through real easy. If you have anything
Mhm.
else like the janitor bills or anything like that, you know that's always constant. You can set that rule up in here and have it go straight through, right? So then the next phase, the approval phase, we can set up stuff like with keywords. If an invoice comes in and it has the word oxygen on it, we know that that's going to go to a user in our system called Francois. He's going to have that in his queue. It's going to look just like Mario's. It's going to be in his workflow. He's going to be like, okay, this is something I got to take care of. Or we can have a multiple approval route where it's like, okay, you know what? Any invoice that comes up greater than $2,000, it's got to go to Hillary and it's also got to get approved by Barack. Those are the two users that hand those dollar amounts. Or you can have multiple, right? You
Can
can have,
you can you put in rules so that okay, so for example, like if it's a marketing charge, and so marketing goes to so and so, and then but if it's marketing and it's over, you know, $10,000, then I'd have to look at it.
exactly. So yeah,
Okay.
so if that invoice is required for approval for marketing and it's over a certain dollar amount, then you'll be that second step approver. Say Hillary's that marketing lady right there, and it comes in and it had a certain line on it that we knew was for marketing. We'll add that rule in. It'll go to Hillary, but also it'll trigger that dollar amount, being like, okay, now it needs to go to Scott as well to approve because it's over a certain dollar amount. So
Okay.
yeah, we can definitely do that as well. And then of course there's a bunch of the auto approval routes when you want to go vendor specific, you can do that as well. So that'll skip
Yeah.
the approval process if you know certain vendors aren't going over a certain dollar amount, you just want to push it through. That's going to help you get to those early pay discounts, right? If with
Yeah.
some of those vendors,
Yeah.
and this is going to stop some of this duplicate payment stuff that's going on. And then when you get to the payments and stuff like that, if you have somebody in place that's going to handle that, they'll be on the flow chart as well. Or if you just want it to be pushed into the ERP, this payment section
Mhm.
will done, and once the approval's done, you'll have it pushed over into the ERP from there. So I mentioned on the users, you get unlimited users, right?
Great.
From the jump, and you can set up the managers, you can set up what roles they are. You can also include vendors if they want to track down with their invoices. They would have to upload an invoice into the system, and like you would do if you had a batch upload, and they'll go through the approval process just like that. So you can set up an account for them, and they'll strictly just see what they've entered in. They won't see what you guys are working on or something like that. But if they want to, save time, if you want to cut them off the phone, just give them a user account, they'll be able to
Mhm.
go in, upload their own invoice, see where it's at, and track it from there, and give your AP some time from not having to have that call. So yeah, that's the user experience. Any questions on this?
No, that's great. Okay.
All right. So then we have our alerts set up, right? So in the instance that you want to know exactly when something's been imported into the system, you can do that every day, once a week, at the end of the day, or never if you're going to be in the system all the time. If your bookkeeper is going to be doing this, she won't need it because that's where she's going to be in all the time.
Okay.
All right, we can set up reminders, right? So, for instance, hey, you know what? There's been an invoice in here longer than a day. Doesn't need to be notified to a manager, but when it starts hitting this 5 day mark, you
Oh,
want to set
nice. And this, you just send the email to the person saying, "Hey, go check your
yeah,
workflow."
exactly, and it's going to do that automatically for them. Once you set this up
Yeah.
for your workflow, that 5 day mark is going to go whoever has an invoice in their queue. It's going to automatically be like, hey, you need to go check on this, and it's going to notify you once it reaches a certain day amount. But we'll start doing escalations like at the 3rd day mark. So if it goes up there, then we're like, okay, maybe that person's out of the office, right? Or we need to notify, the manager or the owner. Let's let them know, like, hey, this has reached the 3rd day. What's going on here? Is that person out of the office, or have they not been in the office? Do we need to assign this to another user? And this when delegations comes in. So if they were out of the office during that escalation time, we can put in, hey, they had time off, and then we're going to delegate that work over to Matt. He's going to be doing the work, and then once that time ends, then it's going to go, all their work is going to go from Matt's queue back into that bookkeeping's queue, and they're going to finish off where they left off from.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah, so that's the alerts. That's pretty much the back end of it. You saw how we set up organizations. You saw how we set up those processes, a limited amount of users, and those alerts to kind of help you not lose track of those early pay discounts. That's what I pretty much say that is. That's the reminder, babysitting reminders, right? All right,
Yeah.
so we've done that, and now we go back into the system. That was pretty quick. Everything's in there, right? From what we just batch upload. You can
Mm.
see here we got a payable invoice. I don't know if you're using purchase orders or not, but if you
Yeah.
did, it just matched up against one for Granger, and everything else was just those manual ones that came through, right?
Hmm.
And so here, let's just go take a look into what Granger looks like right now.
So now the vendor name. So you guys have integrated with NetSuite before, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess because for like NetSuite is very finicky, right? Like you've got to have the right either vendor name specific, like the name's got to be right, or it's got to be like the internal ID's got to be right, or something like that. Like
Yes.
you guys can match that properly.
We will match that properly. Even if they decided to change their logo or change where they're going to put their logo
Mm-hmm.
at on this page, we're reading all this stuff. It's not just like, you know what,
Mm-hmm.
we're putting a template here saying, okay, it's going to read, this is where it's always going to be at. As you see, I'm putting my mouse over here. It's reading off its Granger, right? And
Yeah.
then we're also reading off the address too. So if they did just put a G instead of putting in Granger, we have the full address here and their website. The system's gonna know it's a Granger PO or it's a Granger invoice.
Right.
Sorry. So over here, all right, I'm gonna stop using the mouse real quick because I just want to see how quick you can go through this. If I start tabbing in, it's gonna start highlighting where certain stuff is from. Now I've specifically left this invoice date in here. You can put it in or you can hit the calendar, but real quick, I can just click on the invoice date and it's populated in there for me. Super quick, super efficient, right? The invoice number, it read it, it found it right over there. Purchase order number, found it, read it, it's right over there. So all populating in the stuff that's supposed to be pushed over into your ERP. Even the dollar amounts, 104.70. The taxes has been included, right? The amounts is
Mm.
done. All right, so now if I needed to put some information in for the comments, we have this lasso effect. I can just copy this right here, boom, and it's gonna go into the comment section if you needed to add something from the
Mm.
invoice into the system, right? So down here now we have our GL on it, right? So as you see here, the balance is off because it looks like $7.59 hasn't been put on here. If I look at that, that's the taxes. I can go in, just click on that real quick, hit enter, and now my GL's been balanced out.
And how did you pick the? How did you get the GL already done?
So this is gonna come through from your ERP. Like you're gonna send us a master
Oh,
control.
this was from the PO,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, yeah. So the PO, yeah,
Okay.
this was created from the PO. My bad. I'm sorry. So we already
Okay.
put in that
Yeah.
information in. I didn't get to show you that because I wasn't sure if you're creating POs or not.
Yeah. So we'll have a combination of both, right?
You have a comment. Okay.
So okay. So this one. Okay. So walk me through an invoice for a non-PO.
For non-PO. All right, cool. Let me go ahead and submit this real quick. We're done with that
Okay.
one. All right. So now here is okay. One of the
Next
many
person.
people who can submit this because it's a small invoice, right? They can approve it. So let's go on to the next one. Just wanted to show you that. So here's one for a non-PO. Oh, actually, this
Got
is a
it.
duplicate PO. So look here. This one
Hmm.
found a duplicate, right? So if I click on this, let me see if it's giving me a link to what it had before. Yep. It's like it just
Hmm.
opened up a duplicate invoice for me. So right from here, real quick, I can be like, you know what? We can reject it. I can send an email over to the supplier saying I'm not paying this one because it's a duplicate invoice, and I can put that in the messaging.
Hmm.
So super quick. Just wanted to show you that. But this one doesn't have a PO attached to it. But as you can see here, it's read all that information and it's also flagged it, giving you that alert exclamation point and the link to where that invoice has been seen before. So
Hmm.
when I do reject something, right, I can put in a dispute, say that this document was a duplicate in the notes, and call it from there. Spin and do, and hit confirm, and boom. So let's see here. Oh, it's gonna show duplicates all the time because I put it in the master. All right, so I made a mistake. I put a upload in on the other system there in case my internet was gonna crap out today. So
Yeah. Okay.
just forget the duplicate aspect of it. Let's just
Yep.
look at
Yeah.
what it's yeah exactly. Let's look at what it's reading. Right, it's read everything on this system here. There's no PO attached to it, but it did read the invoice number. Right.
Nice.
There's no purchase order number, so you don't have to worry about the fill. Again, the amounts are done. The taxes have been in, as well as the currency. It reads dollars. So if you got like euros, or if you have what is Canada have? Oh gosh,
CAD. Just CAD.
this CAD.
KD.
Yeah, so it'll read that too, right? And
Hmm.
you have the exchange rate if you need to do exchange rate. If you're doing business internationally, we can put that
Interesting.
information in for you. And again, at the bottom, the GL code right here. You last time you got an invoice for them, or you typically pay out an expense account too for this particular vendor. That's what's going to be memorized the next time this invoice comes in, right? And then, like I
Good.
said, you can put projects in with invoices if multiple different departments are handling it. You can start putting projects in, so you can kind of determine where that payout is going to go to, or where that expense is going to come from. So right now, let me see if it's going to let me. No, it's not because I did a duplicate. Let's go back real quick. Close while saving. Still use demo. That's a dupe. It's a Okay, so now we got General Petroleum, right? See the lines here? Three lines. Last time you had a General Petroleum, three different departments, three different expenses
Hmm.
had it. It's already memorized it. It did not fill it in like the other ones
Yeah.
because the fact is it doesn't know how you want to allocate this, right? So
Yeah.
super easy. What we can do is go down, see the total amount here, and if I want to put it in, boom, and I want to do some simple math, like you know what, I want all three of them to pay it
Mhm.
equally. I just hit this arrow right here, and it'll disperse out. So yeah, you want the copy fills to go down the line. So there you go, 816 across the board. Boom, there you go. Or if I want to do it line for line, right? I can just simply
Yeah.
click, hit enter, go down to the next one, click, hit enter, go down to the next one, boom. You see it balanced out just like that. The lines have been done. Again, any projects that were associated with it, you can change that on the fly. Or if you want to uh, change the expense account I went to, I just hit a simple period, and the
Mhm.
list of different GL codes that I've used will come up. So if I need to change
Nice.
that, you can do that instantly, right? So we're just gonna go down
And
to
you can do cost centers in here or departments.
yes, you can, yeah,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
awesome, awesome, awesome. Yeah, you're getting this pretty quick. I think you're you know exactly what you're looking for in here. So look,
Hmm.
real quick, the workflow comes in. I can't change the recipient like I did last time because remember that anything over $2,000, it's got to go to Hillary and then it also has to go to Barack. So it's going to go straight over to Hillary first, then over to Barack. So I'm going to send a couple more things through just so they can you can see what their work view looks like. Oh, there's another one. Let's get back up out of here. So let's do flag services. I think this is another one that I wanted to show you. Now, not every invoice is going to come through looking so clean, right? So I want to show you an instance where there was a kind of a, say if a faxed invoice came through, you looked at it, you got it through, you got it stamped in. The thing here is the tax amount's missing, right? I want to show
Yeah.
you, say whoever your bookkeeping person was, they missed it, and it's
Hmm.
pushed it on through. Still going to go through that same process again. You see that workflow comes up. It's over $2,000. Boom. We can send that back now as an approver. You can send that back and be like, hey, you missed the taxes. So that way you don't have to worry about doing any of the manual inputting. But you see that, all right, there was a mistake done here. You normally will catch it before it even gets to you. But I'm trying to show you exactly how you can send something back in the event, you do have something get pushed through. Say Mario was, like I said, hungry, wanted to push it through, saw the totals, and just went on his way. Um,
Okay.
let me get this out of here real quick. Give me 1 second. So I want to delete this duplicate that keeps coming up. Boom. Confirm. That's that second one that was coming up. Taking these out. Now everything I'm deleting here, you will have it'll be a history of it, right? So you'll be able
Right.
to see like, all right, you're not just deleting stuff and missing stuff out. There's gonna be a history in the system, and I'm gonna show you that on the reporting side of it. But for the ease of use right now, since I've totally messed myself up in my demo, I'm just gonna take everything I see that's duplicate out, and then we're gonna go from there. All right. So I'm gonna approve one more just so I can have some stuff for Hillary to do. Um, Bear with me 1 second. You see how the OCR data extracting is working here on everything that I'm clicking on. It's pretty much, you know, self-explanatory at this point. Like it's gonna push in all this stuff into you for you. I should really delete that back end stuff. That's why it's keep duplicating. So I'm gonna sign out of Mario, right? I'm gonna go into an
Yeah.
approver. Let's go into Hillary here. Show you what her interface looks like. It should be exactly identical to Mario's. And as you see here, she has her folders, she has a workflow queue, she has some stuff in her queue now that she needs to approve. And as you see there, with Mario's screen, this was all open to change. On hers, it's grayed out specifically to save her time. If there's anything that
Right.
was missing on here, she can just send it back with just
Mhm.
simply hitting the reject button. But everything's good. She hits approve. And Angela, she handles the payments. It's going to go to Angela. She can make sure it gets paid however she deems it fit, right? So again, everything's grayed out on Flagstaff here. But remember, we said the taxes were missing. So let me show you what a rejection looks like. So if we go back a step, so I want to send it back to Mario. I want to say on here, missing taxes, right? Confirm, and boom, we're on to the next step here. So here's something really cool. Let's look at allocations, right? We mentioned these are the different allocations right here, and I can also look at the image, so I can be like, okay, this all matches up. As an approver, this screen is great, right? I looked at everything. This is allocated appropriately, perfect. Also, the history of it for audit purposes, right? We can dive in and be like, okay, this is where it came in. The OCR tool worked. It was submitted through. Let's see what that looked like. All the fields were read, right? Um, Scroll down here. What was the next steps? Skip the step. Went to Mario. Mario went through and approved it. Like we have all that there for you. We'll hold on to these invoices for up to 7 years, right? Just because that's kind of like the minimum for having to go through for audits. We can hold on to it
Right.
for as long as you want, or if you
And
want to. Okay.
and you said that when this gets submitted to NetSuite, the invoice will also be imported into NetSuite, right?
So the image you're looking for, right? You want the
Yeah.
image imported into NetSuite.
Yeah.
Now, if that's something you want, we can do. I just have to get with implementation to. I was waiting for them to respond back to me what that actually looks like in NetSuite.
Sure.
I don't have a demo account for it to show you what it looks like, but I
Yeah.
haven't
No,
heard any no's yet.
that would be crucial.
That would
That
be
would be
crucial part.
yeah.
Okay, you know what?
Yeah, because I mean, from an audit perspective, like I don't want to have to bounce between two systems, right?
Of
Like if
course.
an invoice goes in, there's a line item, the auditor wants to see the invoice. I just click on the line item and there's the image, right? So you can so it's just got to figure out how to do that.
Give me 1 second, Scott. Let me make sure I had David in that chat to make sure he got that message and said yes. It's a clear, good image push through. If not, then we talk about this. Yeah, I did. Okay, cool. He did push through. He has read it. Stand
We
by.
leave it as a
That
takeaway. You don't need to get an answer right now,
No, yeah,
but
yeah. I was just making sure he got it and I pushed it through. So yeah, I'll wait for that answer back just to be 100% sure. So yeah, you saw the allocations, you saw the history of it for the audit trail, and again, Hillary's just clicking approve, goes to that second step. This would be where you're at. If it's over that certain dollar amount, that'll show Scott, and it'll be in your queue. Now Hillary, as an approver, she sees, look, I rejected one, went back to Mario. The General Petroleum went over to Barack because it was over that second dollar amount. The workflows are working. Granger's going over into payments. Everything's working how it should be. So nothing's in their queue anymore. So let me sign out of here and give you a brief look at what a payment looks like if you have somebody authorizing payments there.
and you say this you can have an app on your phone or something like that, or you log on through your
Sure
phone.
did, yes. Let me show you that real quick. Actually, let me do that for Angela. Give me 1 second. I can share my screen with you from my phone. And joining phone. And share my screen here. Share screen. Do you see my phone screen right here?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Tons of apps. All right, so we
I
can
just
go.
do that. You did that through Teams?
Yeah, I did it through Teams. Just logged
Huh,
into our meeting there, and I'm sharing my screen on my phone.
that's really
So
cool.
real quick, I got two payable invoices in here. One from Lindy, one from General Petroleum. I can take a look at them and be like, you know
Oh,
what?
that's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
that's great.
yeah. You see at the bottom there, it says pending forward. reject, approve email. I can't see it unless
Hmm.
you see, but just
No,
hit
that's great. No, this is, yeah,
reject,
amazing.
approve. It
Hey,
goes on. Yeah.
really cool. And can you show me how an employee expense report works?
An employee expense report. Now that I don't have on the demo.
Okay. Because I
But
know that you had that on
that's
the
the
list
thing
there. I
on
didn't realize you
the.
listed it.
So what exactly are you? What kind of expenses are you trying to do? Like it's not like a Concord type of expense. Like if you, what are you getting in from employees that you want to track?
Oh, I see. Okay, so you're not like Concur. Okay, I thought maybe that was another product offering you had.
No. I mean, you can
Okay.
use it in the system. Like if they wanted to send expenses, like if they put like everything in an Excel sheet and want to attach their expenses to it, you can do that into the system in here. But as far as like having like a Concord look, like a Concord type of feel, it's not like that.
Okay.
But it can be done. I've seen it.
You guys, you guys should do it. Reinvest in more of your revenue and do something like that.
I appreciate the feedback. I'm pushing it forward, man. I'm definitely gonna let them know.
Yeah, no, that would be sweet. Because I think Concur charges like $8 or $10 a report or something crazy. Like
Really?
every time an employee submits an expense report, that's what they charge. It's nuts.
Holy smokes! Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and so like you have 100 employees, 100, everyone does one a month. You're at $1,000 just on people submitting receipts.
Exactly. And again, for them to
Crazy.
approve. So I mean, yeah. So like, okay. So if you wanted to put in a system in place, have them do an Excel sheet for the month, and once that Excel sheet gets loaded into, they can add receipts to it. Like this import feature right here, you can
Oh,
add
I'm looking
like,
at your phone. I'm looking
oh,
at your
you're still
phone,
on your
bud.
phone. My bad.
Yeah, sorry.
Uh, stop sharing my Teams real quick. Sharing the Teams. New and turn that off. There we go. You back to seeing this?
Yeah.
Perfect. So yeah, like I was saying, if you gave the users that had expense reports, let them upload the Excel sheets. They can add in different ones like the credit note or other document. It mostly be a other document that they'll be putting into the system to attach
Mhm.
over to that Excel sheet, so you can see the receipts to that, and you can approve it from there. That's a step that I've been heard that works for other organizations. It might be a little bit more for them to do if they're currently using Concur, but I mean, you already have the workflow approval process set up here. So if you want that to just go to you or their department heads, they can do that and approve it from there.
Mhm. So here you upload an Excel template, and then on each line there's receipts. You're gonna
So
recognize
yeah,
receipts to the line. Okay.
so they will be adding the receipts to it, right? And
Mhm.
so once those receipts have been added to it, you'll have the image in here to show me. See if I got something to show you. Go back. Boom. So that's where they imported the Excel sheet. They attached the receipts. So you can attach something like right here in this. So say this was the Excel sheet. The
Mhm.
attachment right here will be where you want to put those receipts to. So they can just upload the receipts in and boom, attach them right into here. So I mean, it's a not a it'll
Not
work.
ideal.
Not
Not
ideal,
ideal.
but
Yeah.
it'll work if that's something you
Yeah.
want to do. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, let's maybe just focus on phase one, but okay.
yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
So then you take this and you hit import to ERP or something like that, and what
So it's
happens?
already pushing over into your ERP after it got approved from the first approver, or if it's from the payment approver side of it, it's pushed over. It's into your ERP at that moment. It goes from a billable invoice to a billed invoice. So that's getting pushed through. What else did I need to show you on this? From that aspect of it, you've seen all the users, you've seen what the user face looks like, right? Let's go over into uh, search capabilities. You get an invoice that comes in, and you're looking for it. You gotta go through filing cabinets or whatever. There's one that has a Toledo. That said that on there. I can do a Google-like search bar at the top here. Put in Toledo and see that invoice come up, right? So when I look at it, I'm going, okay, well, I know Toledo Optical, it's in Ohio, but where did it find, like, oh, it said it in the name, Toledo, right? If I wanted to do Ohio, it would come up with Toledo, Ohio, right? Toledo Optical. And still, right here at the bottom, it read Ohio. That was the furthest thing on the bottom of this image it used. So if you need to look up images, or if you need to look up invoices, just with keyword searches, you can do that, right? So over here, last thing I'm gonna show you or second to last thing I'm gonna show you is what the search of reporting looks like. So the criteria for making reports, you can use any of this information to make a report: dollar amounts, country where it came from, the document number, document type, what status it's in, what project it belonged to, and then over here to the right, you can set up what you want to be looked at, like AP scan today, greater than 1,000K, stuff that got captured today. It was equal to today's calendar. You can look that up real quick. Run that report. You can save it as a PDF or HTML, CSV file, Excel sheet, whatever the case may be. Or just hit the magnifying glass to see what that report looks like. Boom, there it goes. This was everything that was imported today. It's giving you the amounts, it's giving you what step of the process it's in, even the notes that was tracked on there. That lasso effect that we did on that first Granger, that note copied over into the report there. So this can get exported, like I said, into any field you want. But do you have any questions on reporting or how that looks like?
No, reporting. No, it's nice to be able to look it up and then look for the workflow and stuff like that to see where it is when people say, "Hey, where's this invoice?" Being able to look up quickly is great. Just so that I'm clear with the process. So the email goes to Accounts Payable. The image is then captured into here. The bookkeeper goes in and makes double checks to ensure all the fields are captured correctly. Then. Yep, coded correctly. Then goes to the level of approval. The employee either checks their phone or logs online, hits approved. It then goes into Accounts Payable.
So once that first approval step is hit, like once it goes over that, it can either go into your ERP or it can go into whoever manages who's writing checks for the company. You can look at it and be like, oh, this is something we need to pay. You can go there or it can go straight over into your ERP. So it just depends on how you want this to look, right?
Okay.
How it looks like in your core organization. If it goes straight over to the ERP after you approve it, then that's what you can have it do it like that. Or if somebody else has it, final approval on it and goes into the ERP, you can do it from that step.
Okay. And then, so the biggest thing is if you have any business, examples of clients you've integrated this with NetSuite, that would be very good to know and ensure that we're going to be able to get the images loaded in, and get me the best price you can do on the implementation proposal. And I think we go from there. Okay.
I love those next steps, Scott. I'm gonna go ahead and see who I can find with a NetSuite as a reference that you can reach out to them, and then just confirm with David and our implementation team about the invoices coming through. Does that make or break the deal if you don't have invoice images in your NetSuite?
Yeah, I mean, because then it's a real challenge, right? Because then I have to manually load in the images anyways. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. Okay.
So it just creates another step. So it goes from being sort of automated to
now we got a manual process.
We got a manual process, and a lot of this is automatic, but there already is steps in here that which is fine. You got to obviously review the invoice, but it just adds another level. So you actually have to go into ERP, find the transaction that you've uploaded, go into it, ensure that the invoice, then you load the invoice in. Now you've got the invoice in two places. It's I think it proposes a challenge for sure.
Okay, well, definitely make sure And then you mentioned pricing on the one-time setup fee. See what discounts we got there. Definitely work on that for you. Um, okay, yeah. So once I get all that information for you, I'll set up another time to just reach out to see if you've spoken with a referral, as well as mention. I'll send you an email letting you know what that looks like as far as the upload of images into NetSuite for the invoices, and then I'll come back with a proposal and just kind of let you know where we're at and what discounts I could apply for you, and go from there. Okay.
Awesome. Sounds good. And you'll be able to get the proposal by Friday?
I can get a proposal by this Friday. Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I can. Yeah,
Excellent.
let me do that right now as we speak, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right. Sounds great. Thanks for your time, Jeremy.
Hey, thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too. Bye bye. Oh shit. Casey, 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 Casey.